Okay then guys, we are back and we are going to be talking about the new Masters of Ceremony Warbond. Now this Warbond has taken up a lot of controversy over the last couple of days, and now we've had a bit of time to spend with it. We are here to tell you guys whether it's worth your time or not. This Warbond has got a lot involved inside of it, although nothing that seems to be too flashy. We're going to take a look at everything and break it all down for you guys today. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful like button, subscribe, post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure you check out our incredible sponsor, Instant Gaming, the platform where you can get your video games cheaper for PC and console. The best deals, offers, promotions, and discounts. Links in the description for your cheaper games today. And if you want to get involved with our giveaway, we're giving away some super credits for you guys to purchase these Warbonds. So if you want to get involved with that, make sure that you go down to the comment section and put a salute to celebrate the Master of Ceremony. This will enter you in. We'll announce it in the next few days. With that being said, let's dive into the game and see what's happening right now. So starting off, we have got the R2 amendment. This weapon is a odd one to say the least. When we take a look at what it is that it is inside of the customization options, you can see right here that the damage qualities and recoil are a little bit of a good one to say the least. Even though it's a light armor penetrating weapon, it does have a bit more kick than you kind of expect it to, and is really good against the shaft on side of the Illuminate. I've taken a look at the attachments for this thing though. It is pretty lackluster. We only have optics on this, and the original one that you have makes it so that the ergonomics are pretty much not usable. The ergo on this is absolutely atrocious and not something that I really enjoyed using. The only way you can buff this up is by adding the reflex sight. The rest of them are pretty damn pointless. I mean, you can use whichever one you want to out of these because they all give you the exact same +6 that you can receive on it, minus the level 23 10 times sniper scope, which will give you guys a massive deduction, which we're looking at being -3 on the overall aspect, and taking a look for it being at a -9 from the top quality that you can get. Ergonomics on this weapon are not something that it's really powerful at utilizing. For me personally, the only comparison that you can make with this one is probably the Diligence. A lot of people were using the Constitution, mainly based off the looks of it, but based on the way that it fires, the Diligence is the only thing that you can really make a comparison to. And as you can see via the customization options on this is a lot more viable to be able to customize and bump up, meaning that you guys can bring up the ergonomics to make this thing an absolute laser, making it so that the main redundancy is from the weapon of, well, the amendment, which is ironic because realistically, to make it not redundant, it needs an amendment. This thing should get a buff at a later date, or at least in other ways be able to get some more customization options. If they're not going to buff it, then at least give it a way of being able to make it a bit more powerful and viable compared to other weapons of choice. Next up on the weapon listing though, we do have the CQC-2 Sabre. Now this thing is lackluster, as you can imagine. It has got obvious movements and it looks pretty damn cool as far as aesthetically. It is pretty damn enjoyable to look at, but this thing is absolutely no different to anything else. It has the exact same recoil stat as the main combat hatchet and everything else in tow. The only thing it seems to be lacking is obviously any stun ability that you can utilize via the stun lance or stun baton. It does feel really good though, and the light armor penetration on this is probably where the negative impact kicks in. The damage output is not enough to make this a viable option. If you guys know me, you'll know full well that I'm not a massive fan of melee anyway, but for those of you guys who are enjoying the roleplay, it's definitely something that you can put in play for your roleplay needs. It's not overly incredible, but it is quite a fast one-handed piece, meaning that you guys can make quite a few swipes consecutively time after time and be able to cause some decent damage output. Although when you've got things such as the stun baton, which has got that stun ability attached to it, I'm not 100% sure why you would ever utilize the Sabre, in my personal opinion, outside of the roleplay aspect. Next up, we've got the controversial one, the one true flag. Now this is a stratagem slot, and yes, aesthetically it is pretty damn pleasing as a roleplay aspect. It has so many potential points, although as far as actually being able to utilize this on the map, it is an absolute nightmare. Say you have got it on your back and you're not utilizing it, instead you're using your primary weapon because, well, that actually causes some damage. If you are making these shots via a third-person aspect, it is borderline impossible to actually see where you're shooting because the flag waves over the front of your head, causing a bit of an issue towards your line of sight. Now, don't panic if you are running this in first-person movement, though. You don't see the flag in front of you, which makes absolutely no sense to me at all. But yes, the vision is a lot better. So if you're running the stratagem, make sure you're running this in a first-person aspect. Another thing which really annoyed me with this is you can obviously wave this flag around and have that really cool roleplay aspect by holding the reload button down. Now, for something that doesn't even have ammo, the frustrating part about it is you lose the immersion because you have that annoying animation point in front of you that says that it's got infinite ammo. We're aware that it's got infinite ammo. It has nothing. It's a pole. So already it makes it a bit less aesthetically immersive, and for me, it just took away from the immersion of it altogether. As far as the damage output, though, it is relatively okay. It obviously is non-comparable when it comes to the basis of the stun lance. For me, it's just a lot more enjoyable to use it as it's a secondary, but it does hold some really cool features attached to it. The stagger on this one is absolutely huge. Now, the stagger on this can really stagger pretty much anything. We tested this out on Illuminates, and as you can see on screen, the Overseers do not stand a chance, which means that if you want to go ahead and stun those while dealing with other things, you just have to give them a quick poke and they will stagger around for a good few seconds, buying you a little bit of time. This also works with the flesh mobs as well, and it will stagger them in place as long as you are continuously hitting them, because the stagger movement on this is so damn high. Overall, though, this is a stratagem slot, meaning that you are going to be utilizing this as your support weapon instead of something such as a recoilless rifle, commando, spear, or anything else with some really high weaponry. It, for me, is pretty cool for a novelty movement, and if you really want to challenge yourself, or you just like that roleplay aspect, then the one true flag will come in play quite nicely. But if you're not one of those that likes challenging yourselves and you don't care for the roleplay, well, this one is probably going to be completely redundant to you. Then we have the Pyrotech. The Pyrotech is an interesting piece because aesthetically it is so damn pleasing. It looks absolutely incredible, and even the aesthetics on it when it's being utilized genuinely looks so damn cool. For me, I just quite like just throwing them down and seeing them all blow up in circles. It looks amazing. Not only that, but you do have twice the amount of these as anything else, as you will be able to hold a capacity of 6, and if you have got the armor perk, which gives you guys more throwables, then you'll be able to have a few more on top of that as well, meaning that they are there by the bucket load. Unfortunately, they're there by the bucket load because the damage output on them is absolutely atrocious. As you can see right here, the damage is at 50, penetration of 3, and outer radius of 5. Even when taking a look at something such as the incendiary impact, it doesn't compare whatsoever. And you'd like to think that the sparks are maybe a little bit like a thermite, but as you can tell, with a 50 damage, your 2000 damage on a thermite really does compete quite massively, meaning that this thing, as much as it looks incredible, is borderline redundant no matter which way it is that you look at it. So again, use it at first, but the likelihood is it's going to sit in your inventory for quite some time, and you're probably not going to utilize it afterwards. Now, with all the weaponry out of the way, we obviously have to talk about the armor. Now, the armor for me is probably one of the highest key items on side of this. It just looks absolutely incredible, and the drip potential on this is pretty much never ending. The cape is something that we've all wanted for quite some time, and the armor itself does look pretty damn impressive. Although, unfortunately, what we do experience is a lackluster armor passive, with it giving the wearer a 50% chance to avoid a grievous limb injury. This is not overly great, and there are definitely some more viable options that you guys can utilize, regardless of what situation you see yourself in, but it just seems to be one of those. Overall, this over Warbond of the Master of Ceremony does seem to be a massive roleplay consensus. If you guys are looking for something to give your character a bit more of a boost in power, in defense, or in absolutely anything else, this is not going to be the Warbond for you. But if you've got every other Warbond and you're just a bit of a completionist, or you quite like the roleplay aspect, running around with your friends, roleplaying as something in a war movie, then this is probably going to be something that you want. overall, this war bond for me is probably one of the worst ones and the best ones in the same breath, and it just kind of gives a bit of a controversial movement when it comes to whether you like it or not. So, it depends what it is you want it for. Are you going to use it for the weaponry? Are you going to be using it for the roleplay? Make that decision on your own. But hopefully, we don't experience something so lackluster again for a little while. It's nice that they're covering grounds for all aspects and players in the community, but this just was not enough for me. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe, post notifications turned on for all your Helldivers news and more here on the channel. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate your faces. And as always, up until the next time, I'll see you in the clouds.